to Where I Long to Be, a magical trip report podcast. My name is Virginia, and I am your host. Thank you so much for coming back for more. If you like what you hear, please make sure to drop a comment, leave a review, or send me a message. I would love to hear from you. On today's show, I am welcoming back Lisa, who traveled to Disney World December 4th through the 9th. Originally, this was going to be a mother-daughter trip, but the more the merrier, especially during the holidays. And it evolved into a girls' trip with Lisa, her daughter Becca, mom Sherry, sister-in-law Randy, and niece Sarah. They were especially looking forward to taking in the holiday decor, seeing Candlelight Processional, and attending Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. That should catch you all up. So with that, let's kick off 2026 with a post-trip report episode and welcome Lisa. Welcome back, Lisa.
Thank you.
It feels like forever since we talked for the first time. I've lived a lifetime since the last time we spoke, but I'm really, really looking forward to hearing all about this. So just to refresh my memory, I'm going to say it aloud. This was a trip with your daughter, Becca, who I did not write down how old Becca is.
16.
16. Okay. Your mom, Sherry, who has not been in 25 years.
Correct.
Your sister-in-law, who's a DVC member, Randy,
Mm-hmm.
and then your niece, Sarah.
Yes.
And I didn't write down Sarah's age either.
She's 18.
18. Okay. All right. So 5 ladies
Mm-hmm.
going into the parks to have 3 days of park hopper fun. I have to ask first, because it's been 25 years for your mom, what did she think? Were there so many changes since the last time she was there that she was just,
There were a couple of things she remembered or seemed familiar to her, but it was basically
Mm-hmm.
a new situation.
How did she do in the parks navigating everything?
She did pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, I thought maybe we would get her an ECV.
Yeah.
And the second she saw it and how many people were in the park, she was like, there's no way I can do this. So she wanted to try walking around. And we did that for most of the trip. The last park day, I did get her a wheelchair, and
Okay.
it was the right move.
Right. Yeah. For an ECV, when it's really, really crowded, it seems like it would be a challenge with the number of people who walk and then just suddenly stop
Yeah.
in the middle of
Or
things.
cross your path. And
Yeah.
she's never been on one. So there's
Mm-hmm.
always that learning curve. She had asked, are there lanes for the ECVs? And I said, no.
Yeah, if only, if only. I did see something pretty funny recently, and it was when I was down doing my 1 day in Disney, like literally down and back trip. And I've never seen this before, but somebody had an ECV, and I don't know if it's one that they owned or one that they had rented, but they had taken a pool noodle and bent it sort of into the shape of like a U and attached it to the front of the ECV so that there was this little bit of a barrier that if they started to get too close to somebody, the person would feel it before they would actually get hit. And I thought that
That's
was
not a bad
brilliant.
idea. Yeah, that's great. Like a little buffer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And my niece was in a wheelchair for the majority of the trip. My sister-in-law
Okay.
got one for the week.
Mhm.
Um, Paid for it at the park so that we would just pick it up when we went into the parks.
Okay.
And then she could walk a little bit, and then she would use the wheelchair a little bit. So
Okay. And so because you rented it at the parks, you did not have access to one for the resort.
correct.
Okay. Did that turn out to be okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Worked better because then you didn't have to navigate it at the
Yeah.
resort too. So
Right. How did that work getting on and off buses? Was that easy enough to step up into the
yeah.
bus? And
hmm
were people generous in giving up a seat if they needed to?
They absolutely were. They really were.
That's very good to hear.
Yeah.
As somebody who lives
I
in New
was
York
very
City,
happy.
that's not always the case.
No. No, in general, we found that people were very accommodating and the cast members were
Good.
great.
Good, good, good. All right. So let's dive right in.
Sure.
This was December 4th through the 9th,
Yeah.
and you were going to be staying at Caribbean Beach, however you care to say that. So, what did you think? And did you get your room request, which I believe was for the Jamaica section?
We did. This resort was at the request of my daughter because it's where we stayed on our last big family trip, and we
Hmm.
absolutely loved it there. So we were in building 44.
Hmm.
So if you know the resort at all, if you're coming from Old Port Royale, which is the center main lobby, and you walk over the bridge over the little island,
Hmm.
the Jamaica section is right there. And if you hung a left, so we weren't that building that was right when you came off the bridge, but we were in the next one. So
Okay.
it was a 5 minute walk to Old Port Royale. Same thing to get to the Caribbean Beach Skyliner station. It was a good
Very
setup.
convenient.
We
Yeah.
did not get a first floor room.
Okay.
We got second floor, but I had asked for us to be at least close, and we ended up with connecting rooms.
Okay.
So
And with you being on the second floor, were you near the elevator?
no, there's no elevators.
There's no elevators.
There are no
Okay.
elevators. The buildings are only 2 floors and there's no
Ah,
elevators. But I
okay.
mean, both my mom and my niece, they can both do stairs. It's,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah, I've only stayed there one time, so I don't really have any concept of how tall the buildings are. I do know that when I stay at Pop Century, the buildings are a tiny bit taller, and when they have the elevator, depending on where you are within the building, like, for example, when we were there for Labor Day weekend, Alex and I, we had a room that was so convenient to the Skyliner, but I was thinking like, "Oh, if I needed an elevator, you have to walk so far out of your way
right.
to get over to the elevator that it kind of,
Defeated that purpose.
right, yeah, yep. All right, you also on this trip had the quick service dining plan.
Correct.
How did you like it?
We love the dining plan. We've
Mhm,
used it on multiple trips. More for the all inclusive factor necessarily. So I'm not
mhm,
super stressed about, making it worth it
right,
money wise.
mhm,
So it worked out
okay.
perfect. We used all
Did
our credits with no problem.
Oh, you used every credit, okay,
Hmm.
that's usually the issue for people is like, "Oh, I've got snacks left,"
Well,
or whatever.
we never have snacks left because my daughter is addicted to Starbucks. So we use a snack credit for our
Ah,
morning Starbucks drink.
all right. Let's just start with the very first day and how you got into Orlando. You're coming from Buffalo,
Yep.
so not too bad a flight.
Mm-mm.
How was it? Was it on time?
We ended up leaving about a half hour late because they had to de-ice the plane. It was very cold and snowy when we left. We are having ourselves a winter right now,
Oh my goodness.
just
Yes.
temperature wise.
It was so cold about a week ago. I
Mm.
mean, just maybe the most brutal that I've remembered in a
And
very long time.
windy, and
Yeah.
it's not a lot of snow, but it snowed every single day, so there's like a half a foot out there that just won't
Mhm.
melt. So otherwise we would have been on time. We landed a little bit after 11, which was only like 20 minutes later than we were supposed to.
Mhm.
And I like to travel carry on only, so we didn't have to
Mhm.
stop at baggage claim or anything. Um, my sister-in-law and niece, they got in about an hour and a half before us. Their plane landed, but they
Mhm.
did check a bag, and it took them over an hour to get their bag.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
I'm
ever taken that long for my bag to come
No.
out there.
And then they did the Mirror shuttle to get to
Mhm.
the resort, and I used Lyft. It was like $15 less than Uber.
Mhm.
Um, and they probably got to the hotel 15 minutes before we did.
Wow.
So they were
Okay.
waiting in the lobby when we got there. Our rooms weren't ready, so we just ran to Centertown Market to grab food because we were super hungry.
Mhm.
Dropped our bags at Bell Services. There was the most adorable cast member, a little elderly woman named Hala,
Mhm.
who was coming around with crayons and coloring pages and trying to get people involved, and ended up
Mhm.
at our table and just like threw down coloring stuff, and then she started doing trivia, and it was just a great way to start the trip. It was super cute.
Oh, that's
Um,
sweet. Shout out to Hala.
and she looks like Edna Mode. She actually, when she came to the table, she's like, if you go to Hollywood Studios at all, say hi to my sister. Can you guess who that is? And immediately, because she had the big glasses and
Uh-huh.
the little bob haircut, it was adorable.
That's very cute.
So we decided we were just going to kind of take it slow, get a feel
Mm-hmm.
for how everybody was going to be moving. So we went to Disney Springs. I said my mom basically drank the Kool-Aid the second she got into Disney. The first store they walked into,
Mm-hmm.
um, she came out with a tote bag and a new T-shirt, and um, so that was fun. I had to call my husband because right before I left, our furnace stopped working.
Oh no.
So he was having people come and look
Uh-huh.
at it, and the first people that came basically told us we needed a new furnace, and um, it was going to cost an exorbitant amount of money. And I said, please
Mm-hmm.
call somebody else and have them come look. And the next guy that came in cleaned some stuff up and said, you guys will be good for a while.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Okay.
But at the time, it was like, I
Right. And
need to
especially
take this
like
call. You go shopping.
right before the holidays
And
and
it was
everything. And it was
freezing.
freezing. So I
Yeah.
was going to say, I mean, your poor husband, but I was going to say, like, well, at least you weren't there while it was freezing cold.
Right.
Um, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we had a reservation at 5 for Summer House on the Lake, but
Mm-hmm.
we were kind of done shopping, walking around. It was like 4:15,
Mm-hmm.
and I just walked over. I said, do you have any availability? And they were like, sure,
Mm-hmm.
we can get you in. So we sat down in there. It's so like California vibes.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. So we got a couple of pizzas, the Brussels sprouts, which were amazing.
I can't
Um,
remember if I've had the Brussels sprouts there or not.
it's like a balsamic.
I probably
Oh,
have because Brussels sprouts are one of those things where when I see it on the menu, I'm like,
you
yes,
just ate
please.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the
Yeah.
same way. They were so good.
Mm.
Um, and then we got a bunch of cookies to take back. My
Mm-hmm.
daughter does not like Gideon's cookies. They're
Okay.
too much
They're too
for her.
dense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too much. So
Mm-hmm.
we got uh, 6 or 7 different kinds of
Mm-hmm.
cookies between us and took them back and just
Mm-hmm.
ate them throughout the next few days.
Any
The
favorites?
apple oatmeal
Ooh,
was
yes.
a
That one
definite
is good.
favorite. Yeah.
That one is very good. My
And the
favorite is the banana. The only problem with the banana is because it has so much actual banana in it, it tends to get very greasy, like if you have it in a bag and you're
mhm.
saving it over the course of your trip.
I really like the ginger snap one too.
Ooh, I have not had that one.
Yeah, it's kind of a almost like a mix between a ginger snap and a ginger molasses cookie. So it
Mhm.
has that snap on the outside, but it's nice and soft
Ooh,
on the
yeah.
inside. Oh my god, that one
Yeah.
was my favorite.
I mean, good for Gideon's having all the hype it has, but
Hmm.
I'm like, keep the hype so that the lines stay low at Summer House for
Right.
cookies because it's the better cookie in my opinion.
It's more like the ones I make, I think. And
Yes,
that's
yeah.
why
Yeah.
they're not overly done.
Mhm.
Then we got Starbucks for the girls, headed to the bus stop. We had pretty good bus luck this whole trip. There were
Mhm.
multiple times we got to the bus stop and the bus was there.
Yeah.
And we just hopped right on and away it
Mhm.
went, which was lovely because that's not always the case. We picked up our bags. They had a shuttle outside waiting for us,
Mhm.
and they drove us over to our room.
Very nice.
And Bell Services brought our bags up, so we didn't have to carry them up the stairs,
Mhm.
which was lovely. Um, we had our room was a corner room, so my sister in law was in just a standard room, and then we were
Mhm.
in a standard room with the fifth sleeper
Uh-huh.
because I had done it on a bounce back, and that was what counted in the categories. So we had the corner room that has the 2 windows on
Mhm.
it, which was lovely. And I
Yeah,
had
that's nice for the extra light.
right, and I had bought a couple packages of window clings, and I have
Mhm.
little LED battery operated lights,
Mhm.
so I decorated up the windows and
Oh,
made it
fun.
very easy to find the room when we came back at night. Yeah, and then we kind of settled into bed early night because we knew we were gonna hit the
Mm-hmm.
parks for a rope drop the next day. So that was about 9:30 in the morning. So even with a 3-hour flight, we still did about 12,000 steps
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
to start the trip.
Gotta love Disney for getting in your steps.
Yeah, I kept track of them all week.
All right. So that brings us to Friday, December 5th, which
Mhm.
is the day that we overlapped. And spoiler alert, listeners, we never ended up getting to see each other. Although
No.
I did walk past the theater when you were doing the candlelight processional, and you had to go back to your seat. So I was just like, oh, she's in there somewhere.
Close to the front, actually.
I heard Ashley Eckstein doing her thing about saying that she was an Orlando local.
Yeah.
Like
And
that's
then,
kind of the point where I was walking past.
right, that was the beginning of
So
it.
anyway, but that's later in the day. Let's start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start, as
Yeah.
Maria von Trapp likes to say. Garden Grill for breakfast.
Yeah. We're all pretty much early risers, except for my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
who thankfully is a vacation early riser. So it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't too bad. We were up at 6 at the Skyliner at 7:15, but the Epcot line was down. So
Oh,
they
okay.
told us that we could either wait for a bus, it would pick us up there, or we could take the Skyliner to Hollywood Studios and then take the Friendship boat over to Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
And none of us have ridden the Friendship boats before. So we said, oh, well, maybe we'll give that one a shot.
Mm-hmm.
That was super fun.
Yeah, it's a nice
Cute
little
little
boat ride.
ride. Yeah. By the
Yeah.
time we actually got to Epcot, the Epcot line was running. So
Mm-hmm.
if we would have just stayed there and waited, we probably would have
Mm-hmm.
hopped on it. But we still got to Epcot at like 8 o'clock ish.
Mm-hmm.
Grabbed the wheelchair, got through the door. So our Garden Grill reservation wasn't until 9 nine
Mm-hmm.
20.
9:20.
Um, yeah, so we went and rode Spaceship Earth. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my daughter has a very funny video because I had her go with my mom. So she's making a funny face in her little picture. So when the little video goes through, it was pretty adorable. That was a walk on, so easy enough. We checked in for our Garden Grill at 9. We were sat about 10 minutes later. This was everybody's first time being there.
Uh-huh.
My niece loves characters.
Uh-huh.
My daughter does not.
Okay.
So anytime the characters came around, my niece was the one to get the pictures. But I
Mm-hmm.
did get one with Mickey with my mom and I. Um, Cute characters came around really quickly. I think they'd all been through once before we even got our
Mm-hmm.
breakfast because they dropped the cinnamon pull apart
Like the monkey
rolls
bread.
things, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
beforehand, which is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And I was nervous about being nauseous with the rotating restaurant, and I
Mm-hmm.
did not. So that was
Good.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
We got out of there about 10 after 10. Living with the Land had a 5-minute standby, so we hopped on that one. It's so cute. That was the
Mm-hmm.
first time I'd been there at Christmas to see all the lights and the decorations and stuff.
Yeah, it's really cute. It's especially cute at night if you have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
It,
Spoiler alert, I was going to try and do it. I was in the
uh-huh.
park by myself late, and it
Mm-hmm.
was a 70-minute standby wait.
That's yeah, because everybody knows how cute it is at night with, the lights all lit, and it can get quite a wait, but that is when it is good to have a lightning lane for it if you
Yeah.
are able to.
We did not get lightning lanes this trip. My niece qualified for DAS. And with the changes in the rules, you
Mm-hmm.
can only have 3 additional people if they're not all your immediate family, like
Uh-huh.
staying in the room. So
Mm-hmm.
I had contemplated getting lightning lane just for one and then
Mm-hmm.
trying to line up times
Coordinate.
at all. But
Yeah.
I figured we weren't going to be ride focused, or initially the thought was that we weren't going to be ride focused.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think it was going to matter. So I didn't end up getting um, lightning lanes at all.
Okay.
Um, so we figured we'd finish up the pavilion. We had gotten a dash for Soren when they got. I have to close my eyes through that one, through the
Mm-hmm.
majority of it because of the motion. So I sat that one out.
Okay.
But when they got in line at 10:36, it was a 45-minute standby.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, when they got off of that, we got sunscreened. It was really nice. It was like low 80s,
Mm-hmm.
not horrible humidity. So, and my daughter and I burn really, really easily. So we got
Same.
sunscreen.
Same.
Then we walked through Journey of Water.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had been through it before, but the rest of them hadn't. They thought it
Mm-hmm.
was super cute. We went shopping in Creations, and then we headed to Frozen. We had a DAS for 12:10. The standby when we got there was 55 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
My sister-in-law sat out this one. She said, "I've been on it a million times. I don't need to go on that one. I
Okay.
love it." Um, Everything was working too, which was good. The
Oh,
last
good.
time I rode it, all the animatronics were stone still,
They
or
were
Olaf's
frozen.
eyes didn't move, or yeah.
Oh.
So when I got off of there, I checked to make sure I still had our stickers for the candlelight processional that they give you at your meal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm glad I did, because she gave us the 5 o'clock show stickers,
Mm-hmm.
and I had booked it for the 6:45 show.
Yes.
So I would have completely missed it if I
Wow.
hadn't looked at the tickets again. So we still wanted to go to Hollywood Studios in
Mm-hmm.
between. But now we just had a shorter amount of time to get there. So we headed over to the Skyliner then. It was about 12:45. No wait to get on in the middle of the day. Had
Mm-hmm.
to do our Starbucks stop. Um, we went to the Villains show for the
Mm-hmm.
150 showing. That was adorable. That was really cute. And a nice air conditioning break.
Who won?
Maleficent one.
Okay. All right.
And I get what people say about how you can kind of tell who they want to win based on the
Mm-hmm.
performances that they give. Like hers was the most over the top.
Uh-huh.
And I have heard like when the other ones win that theirs is a little more over the top.
So I've determined based on talking to other people that others do win. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just a Maleficent. So
Mm-hmm.
there are other winners. So check mark on that. What I have not determined is, are the actual performances, like, is the content of the performance different, or is it
Right.
just the energy that they give it? Because it just seems like it is so clear who should win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure whether the order of them changes, because when
Right.
I
Yeah,
saw
I
it and
don't know.
Maleficent won, she was last.
Right. That
And
was
so
the
it was
same.
like, but when Hook wins, does he go last? Is he the one? Is that how he wins? I don't know. So
And I
time will tell.
love all the villains on the screens
Mm-hmm.
in the
Yeah.
back. I just
Yeah.
that's
And I
great.
love the song
Mm-hmm.
that goes with it, which,
Yeah.
P.S., if you have Spotify, it's available if you want to
Okay.
listen to that and get yourself hyped for
That,
something.
yeah, that was a good one. I really enjoyed it. Then we had a dash for Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we hopped into line for that. My sister-in-law sat out again. We kind of figured we would do maybe a flip-flop
Yeah.
of her and I sitting out. Standby for that one was 50 minutes at the time. Um, then we hopped on the Skyliner back to Epcot a little bit after 3. I was hungry, but I was kind of the only one. So we went to the America booth just to sit down for a little bit. I had the turkey dinner from the America booth.
Uh-huh.
It was so good.
It's like a little
And
Thanksgiving.
it really was a little Thanksgiving, and it was like 650 and
Mm-hmm.
a decent sized portion.
Mm-hmm.
I was very pleasantly surprised at that one. And then we just got in line for the candlelight processional probably just after 4. They
Mm-hmm.
started letting us in about 4:15. This was number one tops for my sister-in-law and my mom for the whole week. Like
Okay.
number one thing we did. They just
Mm-hmm.
it was so moving. She was so sweet. Ashley, she got choked up at the beginning, like you were saying, how she's an Orlando native. She was a
Mm-hmm.
cast member. Like it had always been a dream of hers to be able to come back and narrate, and she was getting choked up. And
Mm-hmm.
it was just the whole thing was very moving.
Well, were there tears from any of you in your party?
Man, I'm a crier, so they might have been there. Nothing dropped, but yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
yes, it was definite goosebumps.
Yeah.
Definite goosebumps.
I need to see it at some point. But, it was nice to be walking past sort of at the time that it was starting up. So
Hmm.
I had a little bit of a sense of it, but I was like, I'm not going to stand here and watch from like not a good location.
Right.
I'd rather when I do eventually see it, it's, in the same way that you did, probably doing a
Yeah.
package so that I
Hmm.
have a guaranteed seat.
Highly, highly recommend, because definitely not all the standby got in.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Definitely not.
And when the line was going in, I saw that the line was forming for the next show
Hmm.
while your show was starting. So the
Right.
people are waiting in line for a really long time.
I heard on a podcast this morning actually that they were in, and it was a more popular um, narrator, that
Mhm.
there was the standby line for the 6:45 show, and then there was a second line that was already for the 8:15 show, and they hadn't even let in for the 6:45 show yet.
Wow.
So people were standing in line like 2.5 hours before the
Whew.
performance.
Who is the narrator?
I want to say Ralph Macchio,
Oh, okay.
maybe.
Okay.
I forget who, but
Mm,
one of the more popular ones.
okay.
That's crazy. So after that, everybody else was hungry. So we went to Katsura Grill, which
Mhm.
I've never been to, and then the um, sushi stand with
Mhm.
the shaved ice, because my daughters love sushi, and that I will tell you is the absolute best use of a snack credit is the sushi. The
Mm.
sushi combo is $14
Mhm.
and counts as a snack credit.
Wow. Wow. That is a really
Yeah,
good deal.
very good use. And she said it was great. It, like grocery store sushi, which
Mhm.
she
Yeah.
eats once a week. So,
Yeah.
um,
And you liked Katsura Grill because I
yeah.
think that Katsura is a little bit of a hidden gem.
Hmm.
Not just because the food is generally pretty good back there, but also it's just such a little oasis.
It really is. And it was so dark back there. They really don't have a whole lot of lighting when it's nighttime, but
Oh, okay. I don't
we
think
were
I've
able
ever
just
been back
to
in the middle of the night.
sit and peaceful. I think somebody had at a different table had turned on their flashlight on their phone and just had it kind of pointing up to
Yeah.
give a little bit of light, which gave it to the surroundings. But yes, very
Mhm.
peaceful,
Yeah.
um, and very, very tasty. We love a good ramen, and it was starting to get a little chillier, so it
Yeah.
worked out. Sarah and my mom were kind of done at that point.
Mhm.
Um, so I wanted to stay. Everybody else went back. They were able to find their way just fine. So they left about 6:50. I got in line for Remy, single rider,
Mhm.
um, because it had changed to 2D. That is a ride that I have to keep my eyes closed for the majority of whenever there's the screens. So
Mhm.
I thought, well, I'll give it a try now that they took out the 3D.
How did you do?
Yeah, not any better.
Oh no.
I think it's just that it's so close to the screen
Yeah.
that my eyes just and my brain just can't handle it. So,
My friend Jeanette, who was on the one day trip with me, um, did it before I arrived because she came in the evening before and said that she felt like it wasn't that different, even though
mm-mm.
it was 2D. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was
and
wondering whether
it
somebody who has
wasn't.
motion issues would feel any differently about it.
It's still super cute. What I
Mm-hmm.
can keep my eyes open for, so I don't mind riding it, but it
Mm-hmm.
it's not at the top of my list anymore. The standby wait was 50 minutes. I was in line about a half hour in the single
Okay.
rider line, so
Not
not
too
too
bad.
bad. Mhm. Um, Then I gave my husband a call just to check in while I walked to Mexico. I was going to try and go into La Cava,
Mm-hmm.
but the line was ridiculous.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I read Grand Fiesta Tour at 8 o'clock. Was a walk on, of course. Checked again. Line was still ridiculous. So I thought, well, maybe I'll go to the front. I wanted to see the gingerbread house
Mm-hmm.
of the Spaceship Earth.
Yes.
Super cute.
Mm-hmm.
That was really fun. I didn't stay to watch the little light show then, but the structure itself was amazing. And that's when I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll do Living with the Land. And I checked, and it was a 70-minute standby. So I said, nope.
Mm.
I stopped by Swirled Showcase just to get the apple cinnamon ice cream, which I
How
thought
was
was
that?
pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
little seasonal treats. And then I got a spot. I haven't actually seen Luminous
Oh,
before. We
okay.
never quite make it to stay for fireworks. So I grabbed a spot on the bridge from UK to France,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just got too packed with people. So I moved to between Morocco and Japan, which
Mm-hmm.
was a bit quieter and gave me a great view of the fireworks, but I couldn't see a ton of the fountains.
Mm-hmm.
So when the show started, I kind of slowly meandered back towards the bridge, figuring I
Mm-hmm.
could kind of make my way out. I didn't realize that show's only 15 minutes long.
Yeah, it's not long.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cute, but
It's not one of my favorites. I
no,
will not probably purposefully stay and watch it unless I was with somebody who had never seen it before.
correct.
So,
Correct. Yeah. The when we had gone on our family trip, we had seen Happily Ever After from the VIP section,
mm-hmm.
and there's nothing that's going to beat that at this point.
No.
So,
I mean, happily ever after from any section, in my
right.
opinion, is just the creme de la creme because it
Yeah,
is just it's a perfect show in my opinion.
it really is. And that one does get me emotional.
Mm-hmm.
I was in line for the Skyliner at 10 to 10, on it 20 minutes later. So I did beat a lot of the rush and in bed at 11.
Okay.
25,000 steps.
Okay. Now, the next morning, Saturday, December 6th, was an Animal Kingdom day, and Animal Kingdom opens the earliest.
Mm-hmm.
So the others went back and got a little bit more sleep. You did not. So,
No.
how did you do the next morning?
Well, they decided that night before
Mm-hmm.
we left that there was not going to be any getting up any earlier than 6 o'clock. Um,
Okay.
and nobody was going to be in a rush to rope drop. So I had to calm my rope dropping heart and say, you know what, this trip is for everybody. I'll do what they want to do. So
Mm-hmm.
we were up at 6. We went to Centertown Market to grab breakfast at 7:15.
Mm-hmm.
We were on the bus to Animal Kingdom by 7:45, so not too bad. Grabbed the wheelchair for Sarah, and then started walking. And Divine was out,
Oh,
which I
okay.
haven't seen her before, so that
Okay.
was very cool to like see just how graceful she is on those stilts.
Was she easy to spot or were other people already taking note of her? Like did you
There was only
discover her or did someone
no.
else draw attention to her?
She had kind of latched onto a little girl and was trying to like get her attention and
Ah, okay.
kind of play around with her a little bit, but then
Mhm.
people started coming around.
Yeah, and for listeners who may not be familiar, Divine is a character that will come out towards the front of Animal Kingdom Park, and she's a woman who is on stilts, both hand and feet stilts, and she's covered in vines and she's got green makeup on her face and flowers and she just looks beautiful and she will kind of lean up against parts of the greenery, so you may not necessarily notice
Right.
her right away if no one else is noticing her. But it's kind of fun to I'm always on the lookout for her whenever I'm walking into or out of the park.
Yeah. So when you're walking into Animal Kingdom, if you head to the right, that's
Mhm.
where she's going to be.
Yeah.
It's on
Yeah,
that
because
right hand
that's
side.
where she comes out from a backstage entrance over there, and I think,
Hmm.
as graceful and as easily as she seems to move on those stilts, I don't think she wants to
Crazy.
go over to the other side.
No, no, I can't imagine that's comfortable.
No.
So we headed right back to the safari. We got in line just before 9. It was a 25-minute standby wait. We waited
Mhm.
probably about 20 minutes. I love going at this time of day. There were so many animals out.
Yeah.
And my daughter got some great pictures of like the lions, and they were pretty sleepy, but just everything was out. So when we got out of that, we just hopped into the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. Same thing. All the gorillas were out, males and females. My daughter got a picture where it looks like she's in a stare down.
A stare down with a gorilla?
Yes. Yep. It's another great picture. I'll send that when I send in the pictures of the trip. Um, and then we went over to Pandora. So they could, I knew my mom, she loves Avatar. So I wanted to get her on Navi. Um, we had a DAS for that one. I sat out because I've done it a ton of times. I didn't realize until after the ride. My sister in law actually has never ridden it. So I'm very glad that I
How on earth has she never ridden it as many
just
times
hasn't,
as she's been?
not a priority.
Okay. What did she think?
Loved it. And the animatronic was working,
Good.
thankfully. So my niece has been on it, but my sister in law just hadn't been on it before.
Okay.
Standby at the time was 45 minutes. They got right on. Then we went to Pongu Pongu and got rum blossoms and a couple pretzels because,
That
um,
combo is, I mean, I never get the rum blossom. I always get the night blossom.
mhm.
Um, I mean, I love rum, but I mean, I don't know. The night blossom does it for me, and I've never wanted to change it because I'm afraid, like, what if I don't like it as much?
It
Um,
does change the taste.
yeah,
The
so I
getting it
don't
with
want to
the
change the
rum
taste.
softens the tartness a little bit.
Okay,
So the overall flavor of the drink is still the same because my mom
sure.
got the night blossom and then my
Mm-hmm.
sister-in-law and I got the rum blossom.
Mm-hmm.
They were both delicious.
But the combination of the night blossom with specifically the beer cheese that comes with
Oh
the
my god.
pretzel, it is so good. It's my perfect snack.
Uh, that was the best pretzel I've ever had.
Yeah,
It was
so
just
good.
hot and I'm not a huge pretzel fan. A lot of times they're like way too dense and just
Yeah,
heavy and
same.
oh my god, it was so good. It was perfect.
Mhm.
Um I have determined at this point that I have to keep some kind of food in my daughter's belly because when she gets hangry,
Mhm.
um, it makes for some struggles.
Everyone has
So
to deal with it.
yeah. Um, then we headed over to Zootopia. Um,
Uh-huh.
it actually said it was a 40-minute wait, so
Hmm.
there were a lot of people in line. So you weren't necessarily going to make it into that first showing of it.
Mhm.
Um,
And that has to be because it's new, because
yeah,
I can't imagine that it's gonna continue to have a line like that.
right. Um, my sister-in-law went over to the cast member because she wanted to know how it would work if because we were told if everybody wanted to ride the ride, one person would have to stand and stand by
Mhm.
and then meet up with the other people in the
The
group who were
DAS group.
using the desk group.
Mhm.
So she went over to say, well, how does this work in a show situation? Because are we just supposed to sit here and wait anyways until
Mhm.
that standby person gets in? And they said, well, how many more people are in the group? And she said just one. And they said just go on through. So
Oh, good.
it
Okay.
is apparently cast member discretion whether or not they want to let any
Mhm.
extra people in with
Yeah.
the desk group. Um, Super cute show. I
Mm.
loved Tough to Be a Bug. I mean, I didn't have any problems with it. Um, you still have all those 4D effects that you had
Mhm.
in the Tough to Be a Bug show. It was a lot of fun.
I have not gotten the opportunity to do it yet. I did not love Tough to Be About. I mean, I didn't mind it. I did it every once in a while, but certainly not every
Hmm.
trip. But what I did love, and I'm curious what they've done with, is the posters in the way into the theater. They used to have the sort of Broadway style posters that were plays on words for bugs. What's there now?
So now it's more like because it's the show is they're celebrating Zoogather Day, like the
Mm-hmm.
uniting of the predators and the prey.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all like posters about the celebration
Okay.
with the
Are there
different
puns?
characters in the forefront. I don't remember if there were or not.
Okay.
We went through the line so quickly. I don't know as I really read them all.
Okay. I'm a huge pun fan,
Hmm.
so in case that isn't obvious to people who listen to the show. All right. What was next?
We did some shopping on the way out, and then we were headed over to Epcot.
Okay.
About a 15-minute wait for the bus. We tapped into Epcot a little after 1. I, along the way, have been making them stop for photo pass pictures. I had gotten
Mhm.
Memory Maker. This is my mom's first trip in however long, and
Mhm.
probably her last trip. So I wanted to
You wanted to
get
make those
some.
memories.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So when my daughter's hangry, photo pass really isn't an option because she's cranky about getting her picture taken. So
Okay.
feed her and then take photos. We wanted to ride Figment because my daughter had gotten some Figment ears, and
Mhm.
but it was down, and they didn't know when it was coming up. We were getting hungry, so we mobile ordered Connections. That place is an absolute zoo. Trying to find a table was
Talk about Zootopia. Uh,
bonkers. Oh my god, it was crazy. My
and
sis.
the mobile ordering can really back up. So if you're wanting to eat there at like a quote unquote typical time of day,
Mhm,
you need to order in advance because it
right.
will get crazy and you'll have to, even with the mobile order, you'll have to wait a while for your
It
food.
was, I want to say it was like a 15-minute comeback for the mobile order. It wasn't too bad because it was like 2
That
o'clock in the afternoon.
okay, so that's sort of
Um,
like a getting into the non-typical lunchtime.
right.
Yeah.
My husband's family, they grew up in Brooklyn. So
Mm.
they're city people. They know exactly how to get the table.
Yeah.
So my sister in law was in charge, and we found some place to sit pretty quickly.
Mhm.
Um, then I wanted to try and see some of the narrators
Mhm.
in the World Showcase. The times are just off. It's already getting later in the day.
Mhm.
We walked to America and watched the Voices of Liberty
Ugh,
show, which was
yes.
also lovely. There's just
Mhm.
something about a cappella.
That is my retirement dream,
Mm-hmm.
is that I will retire to a Disney house, and for my keep myself busy job, I will be in the Voices of Liberty.
Yeah, love that goal. Then we ran to France to try and see Pierre Noel, but it was crazy busy in Epcot this day. So we couldn't get
Mhm.
close. We couldn't really hear. People were getting tired. So I had gotten a dash for Sarah and Becca for Remy
Mhm.
because they wanted to ride it. And they tapped in at 3:35. Standby was 60 minutes at that time. They said they walked right on and they enjoyed it and had no problems. We got ice cream at, I can never remember the name,
I think it's Artisans
de
de
Glace.
Glace, something like that.
Mm-hmm. It was delicious. It's more of a like a whipped
Mm.
consistency to the ice cream, which I like. It's a little lighter, but
Mhm.
um, so then we hopped in the line for Skyliner at about 4:15. Back to the resort. It was like 85 this day. It was pretty
Mhm.
hot. So um, Sarah and my mom were done. We just kind of took a cool off break for a little bit. And then I said, would anybody be mad if I went to Magic Kingdom? And my daughter wanted to come along. So they all just chilled back at the resort. And my daughter and I hopped in line at 5:30 for the bus to
Mhm.
Magic Kingdom to just have a mommy daughter evening.
Oh, love that.
It started pouring the second we got off the bus.
Oh, don't love that.
She was so happy. She loves the rain, especially if it's
She
a
does?
warm rain. Oh my god. We it rained every single day on our last trip, like pouring, just soaking
Uh-huh.
rain every day. And yeah,
Ugh.
a warm rain does it.
Well, I'm glad that she likes that. I love that for her. I hate it when it rains like that.
It and it did start cooling down. So I broke
Mhm.
down. I had brought ponchos, um, but I had left them in the room, not
Mhm.
necessarily thinking anything. And I did break down and buy a poncho at some point. So she kept
Hmm.
calling me a wuss the rest of the night.
Ah.
It was more to warm me up than to keep me out of the
Mhm.
rain because it was getting a little bitey. I told her it was her plan, whatever she wanted to do for the evening.
Mhm.
She's not the best decision maker though, so we kind of made a joint decision. Um, got our Starbucks first thing.
Mhm.
When we got off, did some shopping in the Emporium. It was still pouring. That did not end for a while. We got in line for Jingle Cruise at 6:30. 35. It was a 35-minute standby. We waited about 15 minutes.
Not bad at all for
Not
Jungle
bad.
Cruise.
Well, and I think because of the rain, people were
Yeah.
starting to make their
Yeah.
way out. Um, and it was nice because when they were loading the boats, they weren't loading anybody in that area where there's no tarp overhead.
Oh, good.
So,
Okay.
um, you weren't getting totally poured on when you were in the ride. At this point, we decided we were going to do one ride in each land. And then if
Okay.
we still wanted to be in the park after that, we could continue. But that was our goal. So we headed to Frontierland and Rotiana's. This was her first time. I'd been on it before.
Mhm.
It was a 10-minute standby line. People were leaving. She loved it. Space Mountain or Splash Mountain, when we took our first trip, she was 3,
Mhm.
was her favorite ride of the entire
Oh,
trip.
wow. Okay.
Loved it. So this has always been a favorite of hers, and now
Mhm.
with the Tiana theme, she loved it. So spoiler alert, we went on it a couple more times over the trip. Um, then we went to Liberty Square for Haunted Mansion. It said a 20-minute standby at 7:50. It took us 5 minutes to get through the line. Um, got my poncho after that so I could warm up. Um, then we went on Winnie the Pooh. Uh, that had a 30-minute standby at 8:15. We waited about 20 minutes. I don't know why I love that ride so much. It's
I
just so
I
cute.
really like it too.
I
I
love
think
Winnie
it's
the Pooh.
underrated.
Um, then we hopped on the People Mover, walk on at 8:50. We could
Mhm.
have stayed on. He, as we were coming around, was doing the circle with
Like,
his
do you wanna
fingers.
stay?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And most people were staying, but she was getting cold now because the People Mover's moving and it's still
Uh-huh.
raining and cold. Um, but she said no, I'm done. So happily ever after was starting just as we were getting out, so we kind of watched it as we left the park. They had us go through the bypass to
Mhm.
get out, which makes that so much easier. We were in line for the bus at 9:12, waited about 5 minutes. We got off at Old Port Royale so we could grab dinner because we hadn't eaten dinner at
Mhm.
that point and just brought it back to the room. In the room at 10, 26,000 steps.
Okay. Well
But that
done.
a lot of fun.
The next day, Sunday, December 7th, you had your tickets for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. So you're going to be going back to the Magic Kingdom, but you had a lot of time to kill before that with plans to resort hop for Christmas decor. So did you end up doing that?
We did, um, except spoiler alert, wah wah, Christmas party was canceled because of
Because
the
of rain?
rain.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So day started out great. We slept in. My daughter and I actually didn't get up till quarter to 8.
Mhm.
Everybody else was up at 5 a.m. But we got ready, went to breakfast at Centertown Market, and then we came back to the room to chill for a little bit. We got my mom some ice so she could ice her back and her knees, and the girls could just kind of decompress a little bit. Hopped on the Skyliner at about 11 to
Mhm.
go resort hopping. Um, we went to Beach Club first and then Boardwalk and checked out the gingerbread houses. So cute. They
Mhm.
were they're adorable. That carousel is just insane.
An architectural marvel.
Yes. Yeah. It was great. Um, from Boardwalk, we took the bus to Magic Kingdom. It was right there,
Mhm.
so we didn't have to wait at all. And then hopped on the monorail to go check out. There, we grabbed an early dinner at Captain Cook's, figuring
Mhm.
we could eat and then head over to the party. We got in line for the party at 3:50. We entered at about 4:30. It was already pouring at this point. And
Mhm.
we're checking the weather, and they're saying possibility of thunderstorms and whatnot. But we're like, all right, we're going to do whatever we can before the party, and hopefully the weather will calm down a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, Hopped on the People Mover about 4:45. It was a walk on. Then we went to Tiana's um, at about 10 after 5. It was a walk on. My mom sat this one out. She wasn't sure she was going to be able to manage the big drop.
Mhm.
But 4 of us had our own log,
Okay.
which was fun for pictures. Um, then we walked to Jingle Cruise. It was only a 20-minute standby because they saw my niece in the wheelchair and they put us over into the other line, which got us on a little bit quicker, I think,
Mm-hmm.
because we only waited about 5 minutes. Haunted Mansion, after that, we were in line at 6. It was posted a 15-minute. And then while we were standing there, it increased to 20. And then it started thundering and lightning. So really, it ended up only being about a 15-minute wait, but the ride did stop twice while we were on it. So I don't know if that was
Mm-hmm.
weather related or if it was just having trouble. Ran to Starbucks, went shopping in the Emporium. At this point, we knew that the party stuff probably wasn't going to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my sister-in-law was ready for all the cookies at all the stops and stuff, so we went to the confectionery just to get some treats to um, take
Soothe her
back.
soul.
Yes. I had gotten on the chat because I saw the lines for guest relations like getting really, really. It was 7 o'clock at this point, so the party's supposed to be starting. They When we got in, they took us through the bypass and there was nothing there except for the DJ under a tent because it was already
Mm-hmm.
raining so hard. Um, they put us in kind of near Cosmic Rays. They
Mm-hmm.
funneled us through there, gave us our ornaments, and there was one of the snowflake dancers like up hanging over the ledge welcoming us all in, but it wasn't like that typical welcome you get when you're coming in for the
Mm-hmm.
party. But we knew because the rain wasn't stopping. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
look like it was going to stop. I hopped on the chat just to say, "Hey, like do we know what's happening with the party?" And you can never sense tone in a chat, but I
Mm-hmm.
felt like the guy was not being very helpful and he was being
Mm.
kind of condescending because he was like, "Well,
Really?
you should have gotten a notification that the events have been canceled." And I
Uh-huh.
said, "Well, no, I haven't gotten a notification." "Well, maybe you should turn your notifications on." And I said, "Well, my notifications are on.
Uh-huh.
And nobody around me has gotten any notification either. I don't know what to tell you." And he said, "Well, you should have gotten a notification." So I was like, "Thankfully, thank you. You've been extremely unhelpful." But I was like, at this point, like, so what happens then? The event's canceled. Do we
Yeah.
get refunded? He's like, "Well, they haven't decided." So at 7:40, over a half hour after I'm on this chat with this guy, we get the notification that says that the event has been canceled and that
Mm-hmm.
they are issuing a 1-day park hopper ticket that can be used within a year of the party date
Okay.
and is non-transferable.
Okay.
Well, we live in New York State. My
Right.
my mom's probably not coming back.
Uh-huh.
My sister-in-law and niece have other vacations planned. They're not going to be back in a year. So I said, "Why don't you guys head back to the resort? I'm going to get in this line
Mm-hmm.
at guest relations." So they're still shopping. I'm in the line. I emailed my travel agent and just asked, like, "Is there anything you can do?" And she um, said, "Give me a second to look into it." She was
Mm-hmm.
just working on her computer anyway, so she hung out on hold for about an hour and a half and was able to get us a refund on the tickets.
Okay. And your travel agent, just to give her a shout out, was Margie Reynolds from Fantastical Vacations, who
Correct.
is all for fun travel on Insta.
Yep.
And this gives me also a chance to remind listeners that you are also a new travel agent, but had
Correct.
not done this trip because you are so new a travel agent.
Correct.
So,
Yes. Yeah.
okay.
I had booked this one through her first.
All right. Well, shout out to Margie. Great
Definite
job.
shout out to Margie because that was extremely helpful. So, by the time we had gotten that sorted out, we got on the bus,
Mm-hmm.
headed back to the resort. It was still absolutely pouring. My daughter was addicted to the French fries this trip,
Okay.
especially at Old Port Royale. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know why, at Centertown Market. So
Mm-hmm.
I ran out in the pouring rain to go get my daughter
Oh,
French fries.
mom of
And
the year.
yeah, coffee and hot chocolate. So, um, we probably went to bed somewhere between 10 and 11. We still had 17,800 steps. Cast members said they had not seen it rain that hard in a very long time. They just couldn't
Mm,
believe how much it was raining and pouring. It was
mhm,
insane. So, very sad
mhm.
because that was definitely a big piece of the holiday stuff that we wanted to do was be able to enjoy the Christmas party. But
Yeah. I mean, on the upside, you got a refund.
mhm.
And because you were using the party as your method of getting to the park that day, you
Mhm.
essentially got a free park ticket for a portion of the time with
Right.
what sounds like very low waits because of
Mhm.
the weather. So,
We were able to enjoy a little of the holiday stuff, yes,
yeah.
without having had to pay for it. But just a little sad.
Yeah, no, understandable. Understandable. All right, Monday, December 8th, you were back at the Magic Kingdom. How was the weather on this day?
Better. A little bit of rain, but nothing that like stopped anybody from doing anything. The
Mhm.
temperatures did start dropping at this point too, so it got a bit more comfortable and wasn't nearly as hot.
Yeah.
Um,
Which
so
shocking that it was this hot because
yes.
the the weather in December, January, even February can be so hit and miss, and it really was warm this year.
Yeah. Last year, my husband and I did a quick trip in January, and it never got above 42 degrees.
Oh wow.
So we're swinging the other way this trip.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, so we were up at 6, had breakfast at the resort again, hopped on the bus at 8:07 to Magic Kingdom. It was there waiting for us to get on. We tapped in at 8:40. This is the day we did get my mom a wheelchair.
Okay.
She not that she couldn't have walked, but she was definitely getting sore, and we
Mhm.
figured just for speed's sake.
Right.
Um, so we headed right to Small World, first ride.
Mhm.
Standby was 5 minutes. This one actually took a little longer than the standby because with the two wheelchairs, they had us go, even though they could transfer into a boat, um, down the wheelchair ramp. And
Mhm.
I don't know, people were, there were some language barriers with people, a few groups ahead of us, and the cast members were just looking very flustered and frustrated already. So it
Mhm.
took us probably about 15, 20 minutes to get on the ride. But
Mm.
everybody loves Small World. That was one, of course, that my mom remembered.
Oh.
Um, then we went to Country Bears at 9:40. The show started about 10 minutes later. I
Mhm.
I think the update is cute.
I like the update a lot.
Yeah. I enjoyed the old show, especially when my kids saw it for the first time and like the inappropriateness of it
Like
all.
what on earth?
But this one it was cute and everybody could sing along. And then we headed over to Pirates and 5 minute standby, basically the time it took you to get through the queue. And we were
Mhm.
on the ride. We were going to go to the tiki room, but it was down. So we headed to Tiana's because the girls wanted to ride it. Again, I rode with them. My mom and Randy sat out. 10 minute standby at 10:30 in the morning. Um,
Mhm.
all I asked was that I not be in the front row, and my daughter wanted to be in the front row, but
Mhm.
we settled for the middle, and it worked out. We didn't get too wet. Um, Then we headed. I had gotten a dash for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and when we were walking on our way there, one of the Adventure Cavalcade came through, which those are so cute. Just the little impromptu kind of parade. Um, so my sister in law sat out for Seven Dwarfs. This was the one roller coaster that I figured that my mom would be able to do
Uh-huh.
since it's smooth and a little not so intense. We tapped in at 11:20. We were on in 5 minutes. Standby was 60 minutes at the time. She loved it.
Oh, I'm
She said it
glad.
is definitely the most intense that she would have been able to do,
Mhm.
but she had fun and she was smiling in the
Oh.
picture, the ride photo. So
And having Memory Maker, you also had access to that video clip that they do when
yes,
you ride that
yeah,
ride, which is, I think, so fun. I love that. It just feels like such a little added bonus to
right,
your
yeah,
magic.
those are super cute. Then Enchanted Tiki Room was back up, so we headed back over there. We had to wait about 10 minutes for the show. I don't remember ever seeing the pre-show. My husband says we did, but
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Maybe you've
Um,
never had to wait in line
Not
for it.
usually, yeah. It might maybe we caught the tail end of it once, but that was kind of cute too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then we had a Beacon Barrel reservation for 12:25. We checked in about 12:10.
Mm-hmm.
And it was more just to check the vibes. I knew like the
Sure.
girls weren't going to drink anything or whatever, but my sister-in-law and I got the Sirens Whisper,
Uh-huh.
and my mom got the Port of Call, and we did the island provisions, so the different chips and the dips. That was really tasty.
When Jeanette and I went there for our December 5th day down and back, we got the corn fritters, and those were very good, but that's the only food I tried.
We were sat at a table with a group of three
Mm-hmm.
women who, and they got the corn cakes. They definitely looked good, but
Yeah,
we just
very tasty.
figured the chips would be the easiest for everybody's palate. I really like the Sirens Whisper. My
Mm-hmm.
sister-in-law was meh on it, but the Portugal, that one was a good one too.
Mm.
And they
Okay.
they served the girls seawater in copper glasses, like mule
Mm-hmm.
glasses, and they thought that was kind of fun. But those get cold.
They
They were
do.
they were freezing on our hands.
Yeah, my drink, whatever, I got something that had the word Royale. It was like Punch Royale or something like
Hmm.
that. And it was served in one of those copper cups. And now I kind of understand why they use those for things
Hmm.
like Moscow mules and everything, because
Yeah,
it does make a difference.
it does. Yeah, and it's so cute in there.
Mm-hmm.
We were kind of in one of the back rooms, so we couldn't see a whole lot with the bird
Mm-hmm.
happening at the bar, but
Yeah.
just the vibes in there was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. So I'm glad we went. Then we were hopping over to Hollywood Studios because we hadn't really spent much time there.
Mm-hmm.
We were on the bus at about 20 after 1, and it was right there again.
Mm-hmm. Good bus karma this trip.
Good bus karma. We tapped in about quarter to 2. Uh, we headed to Tower. I had a dash just for Sarah and I. Nobody else wanted to ride it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we tapped in at 2:03. The standby wait was only 35 minutes, but we were on in 4. Um, then when we got off that, we mobile ordered from Backlot Express because we were getting hungry,
Mm-hmm.
and then headed right there. About quarter to 3, had some
Mm-hmm.
lunch.
Getting more steps in, going from one end of the park to
I
the other.
know, I know. Well, the Sarah and my mom were in wheelchairs, so the rest of us could push them real
Navigate a little
fast.
bit
Yeah.
better. Mm-hmm.
Um, they really enjoyed their burgers there. I haven't eaten
Mm-hmm.
in Backlot Express in I don't know how long.
I never go there.
I don't ever think about it, but they were very happy with their
I
food.
think that I have heard in the past that the burgers are pretty good there, but when it comes to Hollywood Studios, I'm an ABC commissary
I love it
girl.
there.
I think there are so many people who dismiss it because it looks from the outside like it's going to be boring, but they
Hmm.
actually have really interesting food choices.
That
So,
Mediterranean chicken salad, I
yes.
love. I love. So
Mm-hmm.
I got the Southwest chicken salad at Backlot Express, and that was also
Mm-hmm.
very good.
Okay.
So I will not count it out from now on.
Okay. Good to know.
Um, then we got a DAS for Slinky.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my mom and sister-in-law sat that one out. Um, we tapped in at 3:15. It was a 50-minute standby. We were on in 6 minutes.
Wow.
Um, I It's so cute.
Mm-hmm. More
You really
intense than you think it is.
Definitely more intense. And then we got a DAS for Toy Story Mania. And we're
Mm-hmm.
going to have to wait about a half hour. So we found some shade to sit. And my daughter and I just can't like sit and chill. So we
Mm-hmm.
got in line for Alien Swirling Saucers. It said it was a 15-minute standby, which it definitely was. And then about halfway through, and that's not a long ride to begin with, somebody's ears fell off their head. They decided they weren't going to take them off because they were trying to like selfie
Sure.
video.
Mhm.
So it stopped the ride.
Oh,
And then
no.
everybody has to get out because they need to reset things. So they
Uh-huh.
tell us all to just go over to the other side. They'll get us right on. So
Mhm.
we head over to the other side. Well, they had just loaded the other side.
Mhm.
So we were going to have to wait again. So at that point, we said, screw it. Can we please just leave?
Mhm.
Because it was about time for our Toy Story Mania. Yes,
Mhm.
anyways. My sister in law sat that one out. We tapped in at 4:02. It was a 45-minute standby at that point. We were on in 10 minutes. Um, my mom had never played.
Uh-huh.
She was sitting with Sarah. So Sarah had to teach her how to play because my daughter's one goal on this trip, besides getting grandma on Small World, was beating me at Toy Story Mania.
Okay.
And she was successful. I am sorry to say she beat me by 10,000 points.
Oh, my word.
So
Okay.
she was very happy. That
Okay.
ride is so cute. And that ended up being, besides Candlelight Processional being the number one thing of the whole trip for my mother, this was
Mhm.
her favorite ride out of
Oh,
all
I
of them.
love that.
Yeah. So I'm glad we got her on. Randy and Sarah were kind of done at this point. Sarah was getting really tired.
Mm.
So we said goodbye to them because we weren't sure we were going to be seeing them anymore. Their flight out was in the morning the
Mhm.
next day. So we said our goodbyes. They headed back to the hotel, and we headed to the Little Mermaid show at 4:30 for the 4:40 show.
Mhm.
That's very cute. They did a good
Mm.
job with that when they refreshed it.
Yeah, I
Um,
missed it last time I was there with Alex.
we are definite theater
Mhm.
people, so we love
Yes.
any of
Me
the
too.
shows. Any of the shows. We actually we have season passes to the local theater here where they do the
Mhm.
national tours and stuff, and we
Yeah.
have the Twas the Night Before. It's the Cirque du Soleil one. Is
Oh,
tonight
cool.
actually we get to go to. So
Oh, fun.
yeah, we're excited. So we said goodbye to them. Uh, oh, then we went to the Frozen sing along
Mhm.
for the 5:30 show. It started to rain as we were going in, so we were like, "Oh, we can go get in line for Frozen. It's undercover." Um, and then thankfully the rain was done when we came
Mhm.
out, so we missed it.
Good.
That I love that show, and I like how they add the little holiday piece to the end of it.
Mhm.
Um, and there was a sweet girl. We sat in the handicap section in the back so mom could
Mhm.
just stay in the wheelchair, and there was a girl in a wheelchair next to us, and she was singing at the top of
Oh.
her lungs, completely off key, but she just was having the best time.
Oh.
And it got done, and her dad looked over at her when the show was over, and he goes, "You enjoyed that, didn't you?" It was very sweet. um that was really all we wanted to do other than Fantasmic there. So we got our Starbucks, did some
Mhm.
shopping. Um, and it was still kind of early, but they were letting people in at 7:30 for Fantasmic, and the show
Mhm.
wasn't until 9. But we didn't wasn't really anything else we wanted to do.
Mhm.
So we my mom was thinking of staying in the wheelchair for the show, um, but I said if you can get us somewhere where there's a back,
Mhm.
she can sit on the bleachers because they have the two, I don't know if it's the lighting or the sound
Mhm.
towers that are in the back
Right.
there. There's like 4 seats in the handicap section at each of those that have
Uh-huh.
a sit right up against it. So they were
Okay.
able to sit us there, which worked out
Mhm.
perfectly. And then the wheelchair was just parked on the other side of the walkway and made it for easy access. So we got
Mhm.
some popcorn and just kind of hung out and relaxed a bit. I called my husband while
Mhm.
we were waiting for it to start. This is absolutely my daughter's favorite thing. Is fantastic. So we stayed for that, and it was a really good way to end the trip too. I think, as far as the park
Mhm.
days go, we got in the Skyliner line. It wasn't even a 5 minute wait, which is great
Mhm.
because I've been in line for 45 minutes after Fantasmic before. Back to the room by 10. Mobile ordered fries, went to
Mhm.
Centertown Market to pick them up. To bed at 11, 24,500 steps.
Okay. Whew.
My shins were starting to feel it at that point.
You read my mind because I was literally about to say you must have been feeling it by this point. There comes a point where you just, as much as you want to continue running around because you love Disney, you kind of have to call it and go, okay, all right,
Yeah.
we're winding down. My body needs a rest.
Right. Everything else was great. It was just my shins were starting to feel it. And
Mm.
I wear Brooks sneakers normally,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have a pair of Tevas
Mm-hmm.
sandals that I brought too, and I was alternating them between the days,
Yeah.
so I never ended up with blisters or hot
Mm-hmm.
spots. And I thankfully was wearing the Tevas on the party day when it was pouring.
Mm-hmm.
They had to hair dryer out their sneakers,
Been
but
there, done that.
those hair dryers work really well for that, though.
Yeah, either that or I mean, you can run down and use the dryer if you need to.
Mm,
If your shoes are clean, I should say. If you've washed your shoes, then put them in the dryer. If you have dirty shoes, don't put them in the dryer.
right.
Um, all right. So Tuesday, December 9th, this is your departure day. Your sister-in-law and niece left earlier in the
Yeah,
day. So I'm imagining there's not much to report on there.
correct.
What did you do before your flight? Because I think your flight was in the early evening.
Yeah, we weren't flying out until 6:45. So,
Hmm.
um, up at 6, we got going, packed up, headed to breakfast at Centertown Market at like 8:15. Dropped the bags at Bell Services. They wanted to go back to Disney Springs to do a little bit more shopping. My daughter had finally decided on what she thought she wanted as her souvenir, and we were going to go back there to get it. So we got to the bus stop for Disney Springs at 9:30. It came like 10 minutes later, but we didn't get to Disney Springs until almost quarter after 10,
Okay.
because we had grabbed it at Old Port Rail and made all those internal stops before
Okay.
heading off to Disney Springs. So that was the first time we actually even dealt with that.
Hmm.
Coming home on the bus, we were like always the second stop to let off, so it wasn't a big deal. So we did some shopping. My mom ended up buying me a Winnie the Pooh Loungefly as a thank you for being such a good tour guide and
Oh.
keeping me alive for the week and no falls and stuff. So
Hmm.
that was very sweet. That was a nice surprise. Um, we she My daughter hadn't quite found what she wanted. The sweatshirt she thought she wanted ended up it was embroidered, and she doesn't like the way that things feel on the
Hmm.
inside. So she was looking for a hoodie that she could get, but the only hoodies they had were embroidered or zip up, and she wanted a pullover. And then
Okay.
everything else was crew neck sweatshirts, which she has a ton of already. So
Hmm.
she decided she wanted a pair of sweatpants, whatever. So back to the Contemporary we went because they have the best gift shop, I think.
Okay.
Um, and we were picking up a present for my niece. She had
Hmm.
finally decided on what she wanted for a souvenir, and they weren't able to get it. So
Hmm.
um, we went to Contemporary. We took the bus to Contemporary about quarter after 11. Um, and that one was combined with Wilderness Lodge, which I thought,
Yes. Hmm.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that that happened.
They frequently combine buses there.
So we had to stop at Wilderness Lodge first. So we finished our shopping at the Contemporary, got on the monorail at 12:15 to the
Hmm.
Poly because we had a Kona reservation at 12:50 for lunch.
Hmm. I
Um,
love, speaking of gift shops, I love the gift shop at the Polynesian. I
yes.
don't know. I
Hmm.
feel like, most of them have similar things, but everyone has like, oh, this one has a better selection of like, I'm going to use quotes like fancier tops, like the Lily
Mm-hmm.
Pulitzer or whatever. And this one
Right.
has this. Um, and I don't know. We all have our favorites. And I would say among the monorail area resorts, I don't, there's something about the Polynesian store that
We
just
like the
calls to me.
Polynesian one too. The Contemporary, I have found some stuff that I haven't found anywhere else. Like
Hmm.
I had gotten a mug for my daughter last year
Hmm.
that that was the only store I ever saw that mug in.
Hmm.
So there were a couple of things this time too that we seem to only be able to find there.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, so we checked into Kona as soon as we got in, and we're sat right away. This was our first time eating there, um, but my daughter wanted sushi again. I thought that would
Mhm.
be a good way to enter the trip. Um, Delicious. I mean, it was everything was great. We had their pot stickers,
Mhm.
which when they come out of the plate, it looks like a wreath because they fry them and then they put them on the plate upside down and they're all
Uh-huh.
attached. So it looks like one big ring.
Uh-huh.
And then they have the sauces around it, which is like the eel sauce and a creamy mayo sauce like you would get with
Mhm.
sushi. Oh my god, they were so good. They were
Mm.
very filling though. I would definitely eat there again. We checked out their gift shops, I should say, and then we're in line for the monorail about 10 after 2. We got off at Magic Kingdom to catch the bus to Caribbean Beach. Um, we were back at the resort by 3 o'clock, in an Uber by 3:10 to head to the airport.
Mhm.
It was the least amount of people ever that I have seen in the security line at
Hmm.
MCO, which was crazy. But there was a really cute guy standing in line, and he saw my mom walking like with a little bit of a limp, and he was like, "How many are in your party?" And she said, "It's just those two ahead of me." And he said,
Mhm.
"Just come through this way." So he took us
Oh.
through the handicap exit so she wouldn't have to go through all of the switchbacks when there
Right.
was really no need because it wasn't that busy at all. But
Yeah.
that was very sweet. So we were through security at 3:50. We found our gate, kind of sat, just chilled out. Um, Left on time, no issues. A little turbulent on the way back.
Mm.
But we landed at 9:45. My dad
Mhm.
had been waiting kind of in the bus, like shuttle bus lane. And so he was right there when we got off the plane. And I
Mhm.
was home by 10:15
Okay.
because we're only about 15 minutes from the airport, which is nice. And that
Wow.
was the trip.
What a trip it was.
It was, yeah. We got way more done than I thought we were going to do. I thought it was going to
Mhm.
be a much chiller trip, but
Mhm.
Um, they definitely wanted to do more rides than I thought we were
Mhm.
going to do. We probably did a little less of the holiday stuff
Mhm.
than I had wanted to do, but now I just have to talk my husband into going back next year, and the two of us can do all the holiday stuff.
Well, yeah, that was gonna be my question is, is the holiday time the time for you? Do you
I love it there.
want that to be your tradition to go there and experience holiday things? Because I think that there's an extra magic added during that time, but there are also extra crowds. So
There is. That
you
was
gotta
a good
balance it.
window
Mhm.
to go, I think. Um, there were those couple points where Epcot was kind of a zoo, but it was
Mhm.
also over the weekend. But
Yeah.
that first week in December kind of seems to be a pretty sweet spot as far as if you're
Mhm.
gonna go during the holidays, that's probably the time to go.
Yeah.
Um, we so last year we had gone, my husband and I, in January for Festival of the Arts. It was our first time going during that time, and
Mhm.
we had gone the previous October with my girlfriend and her husband for Food and Wine. So we're
Mhm.
trying to like hit the festivals as festivals
Mhm.
on adult trips. We might do that next year if we can swing it.
Have you
And
done
then
Flower and Garden?
not as Flower and Garden. We've been a couple times in May,
Mhm.
and seen the topiaries and stuff, but not really done any festival stuff.
Activities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, you just mentioned trying to talk your husband into going next year. Do you have any Disney plans before then?
No, we are going on a Mediterranean cruise on Princess in
Mm,
April as
okay.
like a combo 50th birthday sort of anniversary ish trip. And my
Uh-huh.
parents are coming with us. It'll be our first time on Princess.
Where does that cruise go in the Mediterranean?
It starts in Rome and ends in Athens.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we're doing 2 nights before in Rome and then
Mhm.
one night after in Athens so that we can have the day to check stuff out there too.
Very cool. All right. This was so much fun talking to you about this. I wish we had gotten to meet up, but I
Yeah.
It just like the stars didn't align, partially
No.
because of the fact that you ended up having to go to the earlier candlelight
Yes.
processional than you had
Yep.
originally booked. So that it would have aligned perfectly. And
Mm,
it was funny because, you know, when we spoke before, I did not have my one day
right.
planned. Otherwise, I would have told you about it. But it was fairly spontaneous. And so then as I headed down, I was like, oh my gosh, I have a podcast guest that's going to overlap here when I'm there. So perhaps another time.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
But
I'll definitely be back. It's just a matter of
yeah.
when.
Yeah, it was so much fun talking to you and hearing about all of these details. So definitely do come back. Let me know when you're going back down again. And now that you are a travel agent, if you have any clients that are traveling that you think might make a good guest, please, please, please send them my way.
Sure. I'd love
All
to.
right. All right. Well, Lisa, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and happy holidays. We are
You as
here
well.
in the lead up to Christmas, and I can't even believe it, to 2026. So
It's insane.
yeah, it's crazy. Where does the time go?
No idea.
All right. Well, have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you so much to Lisa again for joining me on the show and for taking such great notes. As a reminder, Lisa's travel agent for this trip was Margie with All for Fun Travel, and her information is in the show notes. Also, Lisa's information is in the show notes because she is just getting started on her own travel agent journey and she would love to help you out. So make sure you give her a follow and reach out to her if you're looking for a travel agent to help you plan your own magical vacation. That is all for today. I'm wishing everyone a wonderful and magical week. I know many people out there, myself and Alex included, are starting back to school and work today after a 2-week break. So I know it's hard, but get out there and show everyone what you're made of. You are the magic. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And don't forget to keep daydreaming about where you long to be.